For more on this, let's bring in Republican Congresswoman Young Kim, whose district includes the greater Los Angeles area. Congresswoman, you heard the mayor of Los Angeles say that essentially she thinks the protests that she saw yesterday were peaceful. What do you think?
Well, what started out and supposed to be peaceful is not what we're seeing. And you just played that video too. And who is going after, who is opposed to ICE conducting its immigration operation? They're going after known criminals and illegal immigrants. But it must be done in a targeted and measured way, not by forcing the ICE to meet a certain quota per day. But I want to have a message to everybody. If you are a citizen or here legally, you shouldn't be living in fear of or being targeted. I just want to tell everybody to lower the temperature. You have a constitutional right to protest peacefully, but that's not what we're seeing. This is where we need to come together, local law enforcement, to try to coordinate with the local, state, and federal law enforcement. That would be helpful. Look, I'm an immigrant, and I came here legally, and I'm proud to be an American today. But it's about time that Congress seriously considered fixing our broken immigration system. And I'm willing to work with anyone to find a common sense, comprehensive immigration reform that is fair and compassionate, so the people that are protesting on the streets, their concerns will be addressed.
But isn't it the case that America already allows more legal immigrants into the country than any other nation on earth?
Exactly. And we have a lot of legal immigration. But again, what we've seen in the last several years, that's not the case. We had an open door policy. We have more illegal immigrants that have crossed the border and among us and our neighbors. And we are only talking about the federal operation going after the known criminal immigrants who are here, who have broken the law. So if you cross the border illegally, you are an illegal immigrant. And that's what we're going after. And so we need to address that and come up with a comprehensive immigration reform. What we're seeing right now is really undermining the legal immigration.
What Mayor Karen Bass says she saw in a bird's eye view yesterday as she toured the protest sites by air was virtually all peaceful, she says. Listen.
I flew over each one of them, and they were overwhelmingly peaceful. It's not shocking that at the end of a protest that you're going to have some confrontation. Of course, I wish there was none at all, but I don't think that characterized the day at all.
On Friday, the Trump administration...
otherwise, more than 5 people would have been arrested.
When you look at the protests that erupted really all across the country yesterday, are you convinced that they are all organic, that they are all, Americans and others who are simply upset about these ICE raids?
Well, everybody's concerned about what's happening right now, but that is also due to our California is a sanctuary state, and it doesn't allow our local law enforcement to coordinate with our federal law enforcement officials, especially the ICE, who have openly told the local state government and city of LA, where it first started, they knew they were coming. If they just allow them and coordinate with the federal enforcement officers, we would not have had this kind of outbreak and escalate into the tension that we're seeing. Throwing rocks and putting streets on fire, throwing Molotov items even at the police cars, this is not peaceful. We need to lower the temperature and really get this under control. Clearly, the local city officials, Mayor Karen Bass was unable to contain this. Governor Newsom was unable to contain the situation in a peaceful manner. So instead of resisting, they need to welcome the National Guards that are providing the cover and protecting our federal properties and guarding those citizens so that it doesn't escalate to the violent level. Peaceful protest is welcome, but the violence, the vandalism, and what we're seeing on the streets, this is unacceptable.
Young Kim, a congresswoman who is a self-described immigrant and represents parts of Los Angeles. Thanks for coming on today.
Thank you.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.